You're a modern human and a romantic disaster. You've got 3 dating apps, a bathroom full of products that make you smell like a forest that doesn't exist, a personality you rehearsed in the mirror, and your love life is still a crime scene. Now, meet your ancestor. No words, no shower, barely a chin. He smells like a campfire that rolled in roadkill. His best line is a grunt. His haircut looks attacked by a bush. And somehow this magnificent idiot reproduced. And not just him. Every ancestor you have ever had pulled it off. An unbroken chain of sweaty, grunting cavemen going back 2 million years. Ending in you, getting left on read by someone named Brittany. So how did Grog do it? Sit down. This is the greatest love story ever told, and disturbingly, it is yours. First, the problem. For almost every animal, dating is simple because the female puts up a billboard. She changes color, she releases a smell you can detect from 3 hills away. The males read the announcement and have one chaotic weekend and never speak again. No feelings, and we ruined it. Because human women quietly took the billboard down. Ovulation went secret. No color, no sign. Even she is not sure. Which hands Grog the most stressful problem of his hairy little life. He has no idea when it is the right time. He is flying completely blind and the universe will simply not tell him. So evolution panicked and invented the boyfriend. If Grog cannot tell when the magic day is, he cannot show up once and leave like a dignified animal. He has to be there for all of them, every single day, hovering, bringing snacks, laughing at jokes he does not understand. Pretending to love her mother, nature tried to fix a tiny glitch and accidentally built the clingiest creature on Earth, a man who will not leave. That is your great-great-grandfather 40,000 times over. You come from a bug in the system. And lurking is not enough because there is competition. Other men also casually standing near her cave holding a spear, pretending they were just in the neighborhood. So Grog has to bring value. And in the Stone Age, value comes in exactly one form. A large dead animal. He picks a fight with something 10 times his size and full of teeth. He nearly dies. He drags the corpse back and drops it at her feet, bleeding and grinning like he just paid off her car. This is the first date. This is the first bouquet of roses. And size is tragic here. A rabbit makes you a fun guy, but a mammoth leg makes you husband material. But what was Grog even hunting for? What did he find attractive? Incredibly, we have receipts. The oldest art humans ever made is not some noble hunting scene. It is tiny statues of women carved with enthusiasm. Huge hips. Huge everything. The prehistoric version of a guy doodling his dream girl in a notebook. Because in a world constantly trying to starve you, the single hottest trait was looking like you would survive winter. Forget abs. Grog wanted a partner with enough stored snacks to outlast a blizzard. The Stone Age beauty standard was genuinely looks like she has groceries. And somewhere out there is the first man who carved a curvy little statue and proudly showed his friends and invented both art and being a simp at the same time. Then comes disaster. Feelings. Grog has invested weeks. The hunting, the hovering, the fake laughing. So the first time another caveman sniffs around his cave woman, something brand new and terrible detonates in his skull. The first jealousy. He has no word for it yet. He just sits on a rock and stares into the fire and becomes the first man in history to be sad in a cinematic way. He invents the breakup ballad 400,000 years before anyone builds an instrument to play it on. But here's the twist nobody tells Grog. He was never in charge. She was. She ran the most ruthless hiring process the planet has ever seen. A giant muscle brute. Rejected. Too likely to step on the baby. A loud guy who fights everything. Rejected. Exhausting and dead by Tuesday. The guy who shared his food and did not try to murder the neighbors. Hired. For 2 million years, women selected men for being reliable and generous and not insane. You exist because 100,000 of your grandfathers barely scraped a passing grade. Most men did not. Most men are nobody's grandfather. Let that sit. Watch it happen. 2 bachelors. On the left is Thrunk. Enormous. Ripped. Screams at clouds. Solves everything by hitting it. On the right is Grog. Average. A bit nervous. Shares his berries. Thrunk struts up and flexes and challenges a bear to a fight for no reason. Thrunk is now inside the bear. Grog quietly hands the cave woman half his lunch and helps carry firewood. Reader, you are descended from Grog. You have never met Thrunk because Thrunk's entire bloodline ends inside that bear. Nature did not pick the action hero. Nature picked the guy who helps you move. And Grog was not even doing this alone. He had a gang. A small band of equally desperate, equally smelly men. And somewhere in that group, history's first wingman was born. The first guy to march up to a cave woman and gesture wildly at his friend cowering behind a rock and vouch for him in pure, heartfelt grunts. The first, trust me, he is actually really nice once you get to know him. That noble idiot asked for nothing and rescued the entire human species one awkward introduction at a time. Pour one out for the prehistoric wingman. Without him, you are genuinely not here. And all of this happened with 0 words. No, you come here often. Just gestures. And grooming. Literally picking bugs out of her hair, which back then counted as a deep 3-hour heart-to-heart. A clumsy little dance. And eventually, music. We have found flutes carved from bone 40,000 years old, which means somewhere stood the first man who tried to impress a woman by playing an instrument at her. He invented the try-hard musician. He is the reason your cousin owns a guitar he cannot play. And say it actually works. The antelope landed. The statue was flattering. Love is in the smoky air. Now they have to make a tiny human, and humans are catastrophically bad at this. We started walking on 2 legs which narrowed the hips. Then we grew enormous genius brains. So we are now trying to push a bowling ball through a garden hose. We are the only animal that needs an entire pit crew just to give birth. A zebra drops a foal, and it is jogging in 20 minutes. A human baby arrives furious and blind and useless for about 18 years. So, cavemen had to invent teamwork and midwives and the whole village purely because our skulls got too cocky. Now, here's the part that ruins your week. You think you have evolved. You have not. You are just grog with Wi-Fi. The flowers, dead antelope, the fancy dinner to look like a provider, antelope with a wine list. You cannot tell if they like you, so you keep showing up and keep texting and keep orbiting their life hoping for a sign? That is concealed ovulation, 50,000 years later, still making you lurk like a goblin. That hot stab when they laugh at someone else's joke? That is grog. On his rock. The grunt became you up. The mammoth leg became a reservation. The bug picking became liking their photos from 2019 at 1 a.m. So next time you are standing there, heart hammering, holding flowers, certain they do not feel the same, give yourself some credit. You are the final boss of 2 million years of nervous, sweaty, unkillable men who all somehow pulled it off. Every single one was good enough to be your grandfather. You were born for this. Now go bring someone an antelope.